So you've had your spiritual awakening and you feel so open and in your creative flow, connected to star beings, to your cosmic origins. But you've also got raging anxiety, overloaded and overwhelmed whenever you're met with other human beings. And you maybe have insomnia, fatigue, maybe even experiencing chronic headaches, achy pains, different things like that. Well, I really have something to talk about here on this subject. And it's something that I don't feel a lot of people are talking about, if any. And it's that these ascension symptoms are maybe more related to your nervous system than these so-called symptoms that are related to the amount of sun exposure that we're getting through the solar flares, or the fact that the Schumann resonance is peeking off the wall. Now, before you cut out and get annoyed with me that I'm even suggesting this, hear me out, because I just want to tell you that I have been through such a journey with this myself, through going through incredible states of awareness, through channeling light language, which I still do now. I still draw codes, I still write light language, I still tune in to my spirit guides. But there is an embodiment that has happened along this journey, and I want to talk about that because I think that these symptoms can be resolved when we look at our nervous system, when we look at what's going on in the body as well as what is going on in the energies, because that body has certain things that we're holding on to which are making it difficult for us to truly embody these vibrations and these cosmic vibrations, these higher energies, if you will, and really truly our soul essence, our soul being is having a hard time coming in. And what is the one thing, if you're on that ascension path, if you're someone who believes that you're a starseed or you're on a Christic path or something like that, what is the one thing that we believe here? That there is this sense that there are some other nefarious beings that are preventing us from truly living in that connected to oneness, to divinity, or, evolving as beings and connected to all the other beings around the cosmos, and so much more there is into that. But this is the kind of the essence of what that's about. And truly for me, I was on that path. I was like, this is the energy that I believe in. Like, I'm even looking at this picture that I've drawn over there with my Merkaba and the beautiful energies that are coming off from there that I drew from this beautiful experience that I had. And it's kind of interesting that that's sitting there as I'm talking about this, because we have these incredible experiences and then we come back into this body and we land in this body and then we have such a hard time with it. And that is because there is things here that we have experienced, and it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that, to understand that, and not to feel that those things are less than, lower vibration, and make you not a high vibrational being, because everything is all interconnected. But your nervous system cannot hold that higher vibrational if you are then completely ignoring that there is trauma there held in your body, that your nervous system is in fight, flight, or freeze, for whether that's the reasons of what happened in your childhood, maybe as you grow up, maybe as you've had a spiritual awakening and then you start to feel suddenly overwhelmed and anxious because this matrix that is like, this society, the systems that are in society where we're fast-paced, going, it's all about making money, it's all about, being in these kind of 9 to 5, 5 days a week kinds of jobs or even more, and people can't suddenly handle that anymore because there is this delicacy, there is this absolute beauty and softness, this feminine softness, if I even may say so, that feels so much more, that it feels so much more of what's going on within our own being, within everything else around us. And then for us to then have to be around all of that harshness and the trauma that also is around us, that can be very challenging. Okay, so we want to be able to look at what's going on in our nervous system, because if at childhood we experienced childhood trauma and then we suddenly have this spiritual awakening, or maybe it was already quite spiritual, we're always having this in and out difficulty. And what we call this is also dissociation. And this is something that I really struggled with dissociation, where I would leave my body. I was away with the fairies. I was always feeling it more comfortable to be out in these other etheric experiences with angels and beings than being here in my physical body because of the trauma I endured. So then what happens? You go back to have these spiritual experiences in a beautiful setting. You're going to meditate, you're sitting with lots of people in an amazing ceremony, but you're leaving your body. And the body is then feeling unsafe again, because the reason why it usually leaves the soul leaves the body is because it doesn't feel safe to experience something when you're in your childhood. And then you go to do it again when you're in your spiritual awakening process, and the body suddenly starts to feel unsafe again. And the soul and the body start to feel really convoluted, and there's this difficulty and this challenge, this disconnect, because there was already kind of this disconnect happening. So we need to be able to recreate a new nervous system. We need to create a new way, a new pathway through our system to feel safe, to access that energy in a way that also feels integrated and connected to the body at the same time. So I'm going to give you 3 really simple tips that I use to stay in my body, to stay connected, so that you can also start to do this too. So things like doing lots of deep, long meditations might not be as essential for you at this time, because you can already access some of those things without doing these prolonged meditations that essentially are getting you to be outside of your body. What you want to do is start to do some things that bring you deeper into your body, bringing your soul into your body. So you can do things like, okay, this is a bonus one actually. You can do things like putting dance on and then dancing with your soul and your spirit with your body. And this is quite meditative, but you're still with the body at the same time as you're moving your body. Now, to regulate your nervous system, so these are the 3 things to regulate the nervous system in the body, and that is similar to body scanning, but instead of just going bit by bit, foot, ankle, leg, and just really looking at those body parts, I'm inviting you to just very intuitively feel the sensations in your body. My Tao Tantric teachers call it the Shakti meditation. So we observe the Shakti life force in our body. So we're just closing our eyes. You can do that, or you can keep your eyes open, also perfectly fine, and just feeling the sensations and observing where those sensations are, breathing into them, acknowledging them, witnessing them. And this is allowing them to move freely through the body as well. We're not pushing them down, we're not hiding away from them. We're observing, we're witnessing those feelings and sensations, and using your breath. You can move if you need to move it. If it starts to create shaking and waves in the body, then you can go with that and allow that in the body as well. So you're being present with that energy that's moving through your body. Number 2, very simple again, breath work, but not this harsh breath work that so many people want to do to kind of create these DMT experiences and things, which are great. Again, they are amazing practices, okay? But when you are feeling dysregulated in your nervous system, it's starting to create all these symptoms like the fatigue or the anxiety, the worry, depressions, the overwhelm, the migraines, the aches and the pains, all those different symptoms, insomnia, these erratic, weird times that people keep waking up because they're getting downloads, right? These are the responses that are also linked to nervous system dysregulation. And if the body doesn't know the difference between you having these ascension symptoms and dysregulation, then you'll just start to keep experiencing dysregulation, and it will be harder. So this is why we want to do things that regulate. So the breath work, breathing in for 5, out for 5. Or you can start to, even better, breathe in for 5, breathe out for 6. And then again, just keep allowing that exhalation to get longer and longer and longer. The more you exhale, the safer you send signals to your body that you are relaxing, that you are safe, and that you are calm. And this is what this exhalation will create. So focusing on that exhalation is going to allow you to do that. And again, you could close your eyes, but you could also keep your eyes open for this. Maybe even look at yourself in the mirror while you do it if you have a mirror. Look at something beautiful around you. Go into nature and sitting with a tree and breathing with the tree, breathing with your crystals, even these sacred geometric patterns, like I said about my beautiful image up there. You can breathe and look into those. So you're still connecting into some very beautiful cosmic energies, but there is a presence that comes in that is very different to that of moving out through the body. Then lastly, which is great if you really are in the thick of an overwhelm, an emotion that's coming up, a looping thought that maybe keeps cycling through and you're not sure how to move through it. Maybe you have to deal with social anxiety a lot of the time, or you can't cope with the stress of your work. Well, these things, we want to move out and away from those systems altogether while we're in it. I think EFT tapping is a great system to take on, and there are some really in-depth videos out there that you can go into. You can work with myself or anyone else one-on-one, and like me, I incorporate it within my sessions, or you can be someone who does it all together. But this is something I'm going to show you to do it in a very simple way, and you can go into it again much more detail if you want to. And just so you know, the EFT really does stem into ancient Chinese philosophy and teachings of the Taoist teachings of acupressure, pressure points, meridians, and Qigong. And in medical Qigong, we tend to tap the meridian points and so on, as well as a part of our energy flow and releasing and re-establishing the energy pathway so that they flow nicely. So you could just simply tap all over your body. You really don't have to be so specific if it's not there for you to remember, what point am I supposed to be tapping? What am I supposed to be doing? But just a daily, tapping, shaking, patting down is going to help to stimulate your meridians and start to move that energy. So this is at its most simplest form. If you can just start tapping down your body, it's going to be a great daily practice for you. Now, you could also, and I just want to advise anyone who's pregnant or would be unsure whether this would be safe for them for whatever reason, then go seek a medical profession. Certain points like the ones I'm going to show you now aren't necessarily suitable for those who are pregnant, so I wouldn't advise it. But like I said, you can definitely tap down the body as long as you're not bashing and tapping over your womb space, which I'm sure you wouldn't do anyway. So this particular tapping, you can just tap under the collarbone. And just do some nice breaths with that. If you want to release, you can do a couple out through the mouth as well. You can go over into the center here as well, over the thymus. And now for the EFT sequence, okay? And this is going to be a miniature shortened version so that you can just tap away if you need to, on a lunch break, or when you're experiencing something in the moment and you're on your own and you just really need something to release whatever it is. So let's, for instance, say that we're having an overwhelming experience at work. So I want you to also think about something that you are in love with in life, whatever that may be. So I'm going to do my one for trees because that's what I was taught when I used to go for sessions, EFT sessions. My therapist always asked me to think about trees because she knew how much I love nature and trees, and really it is something I still do because it just seems to trigger that for me. But I have used other things like my cat and so on. You know, you can use your children, your cats, or your animals, your crystals, or if there's something that you really love, you can attune to that. But we'll just do trees for me. You may pick something else. So we're going to start on this karate chop here, and we're just going to start by saying, and I'd like you to, if you can, have your feet on the ground. We're still going to be breathing. We're going to be tapping over this point to start. Okay, so even though I am struggling at work today, I still absolutely love trees. Even though I am struggling at work today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling at work today, I still love trees. And we're going to move up into the crown. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. Even though I'm struggling today, I still love trees. And then you can just pause. See how that feels in your body. You can continue that and do a few cycles. You can obviously change it up and use different words. You may get an emotional release, because it is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, where you may start to cry and things can come up for you, especially if you go into the more longer sequences. But this one may just help to shift a few energies that you're holding on to, and a few looping patterns. And when you do start to do this, you will start to notice that shift of how those certain patterns that you were experiencing, those physical symptoms may even start to shift as well, potentially. Okay, I'm not saying it will, but there is potential for that to happen. So these are all some great tips, and I'd love to know from you if these are things that you have tried yourself, what you do to regulate your nervous system, to support yourself in feeling grounded and connected in your body, whilst also evolving and expanding your consciousness, while riding this amazing wave of soul evolution that we're all experiencing here on this planet. How are we all doing this? Let's all join as a community to support one another. And if you are someone who needs that help, then please go and check this video up here, where I will dive into another somatic practice for you to get real connected into your soul.